Welcome back to TalkNorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. This might be the last or one of the last shows you and I do in downtown Minneapolis. Isn't that weird?
I know. Well, we need. It'd be nice if maybe a live show would come at us and live venue, and we come down to back here.
Only if they want us to bring in a lot of people so they can make a lot of money. I don't know why anybody would be interested in that.
Yeah, but it is funny. So I was driving down here to do this podcast, and it's like every time I drive by now, it's like you get that like. Sad feeling, like you just like because I moved and I no longer work at the Strip,
right?
And it's like now when I come down, it's like sort of
loud in Minneapolis.
It's sort of like an event, you know, and you do. It's like, what are the chances? So my old building that I live down here, they call me today and like, hey, we got a package mailed to you, and so on Amazon, I accidentally sent myself a package to my old address, so it was just like perfect timing. I'm like, well, you're not going to believe it. I'm a block away right now, so I like ran by, saw all the I'm walking in one of the old I lived in a real high rise building here, 28 stories, and I'm walking in, and this woman's like, I thought you moved, and I'm like, I don't think I ever saw you in my life, but yes, I did. So that was a great part of living in the condo. Is like you just didn't know anybody. It was like it's like. Well, maybe that's just me.
No, there's actually probably nothing more anonymous than being in a huge city. You know, because you're just another person walking through the halls, another person walking down the street, and if you don't know people, they just leave you alone. Of course, I have to admit though, I've never reached the depths of loneliness where I actually mailed myself a package just so I could pretend to have a friend.
Well, it's such an easy thing, Amazon now. It's why all these companies are going out of business. You just go on and like, oh, I need that. I'll just go and, I don't feel like going to Target. So I'll just go mail myself some paper towels, which is what I just picked up.
Oh, it's sadder than
Why go to Target and buy Bounty when you could just go to Amazon.com and send yourself Bounty?
You're putting every local business in the world out of business.
I know that. That's the problem with Amazon. That's the problem with all these companies. It's the same thing with.
Do you order?
It's like Best Buy's got to deal with the same type of stuff. Like people will go there to almost test drive the thing and then go buy it somewhere cheaper online.
I know, and you know what? As a guitar player, I see that happening in guitar centers all the time. People go in and check the price and see if there are any special deals. Then they go order someplace they might get 10% off or whatever.
Yeah,
it's really a horrible way to live.
Yes.
It saves you a little money, but it's terrible for our society.
Yeah.
So I'm laying a big guilt trip on you. And you know what? That's redundant to lay a guilt trip on Michael Russo.
Yeah.
That should be illegal.
That's true. I'm Jewish.
And I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like Jewish light, I think.
Yeah.
How did we get here in this conversation?
I don't know. What are we doing now?
You know what? I guess we're doing a hockey podcast. I will go ahead and introduce the stupid
This
show.
is like my third thing of the day, by the way. So I'm like,
I'm glad you saved the best for me. I say sarcastically.
Best for last.
This is the Russo-Souhan Show. He's Michael Russo from The Athletic. I'm Jim Souhan from the Star Tribune. We're going to talk some hockey, I guess, and Stanley Cup Playoffs, Nino, Coil, all that stuff. Thank you to our sponsors, Twill and the Dyna Gallery. If you hear this in time, this weekend, the 4th and 5th, they are having a trunk sale with Stenstrom stuff. I bought, they had a special last time I was in, and I bought I think it was like four for the price of 3, something like that. They're the best shirts I've ever owned. I wear them all the time. Check out Twill and the Dyna Gallery. Let's see, we have Fixology Repair. They have downtown Minneapolis. They have third floor Mall of America. They are going to be opening a new place in downtown St. Paul. Check it out. And also Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent Champlin, who handles my insurance and Michael's. I'll tell you more about all those businesses later. Where do you want to start with the Stanley Cup playoffs? Nino and Coil, is that too obvious?
Yeah, I mean, maybe by the time this podcast is released, Carolina will be on into the third round, which is all they do is go to the Stanley Cup final when they make the playoffs. So, and I do think Boston now comes out of the East. So it could very well be Charlie versus Nino in the Eastern Conference final for all the marbles. And who would have thought? Who would have thought?
The good thing is Wild fans will not be offended by that at all.
No. Yeah, and I keep on tweeting about them, and I honestly, genuinely don't mean to be like throwing it down like Wild fans' faces. But it's like, this is one of the things, like in the final minute of the game against the Islanders the other night, Nino, very late in his shift, dumps a puck himself and then goes to the corner and wins the race and then eats 25 seconds off the clock. And it's like, because he covered him, you're like, holy mackerel. Like, so it's like, I tweet about it, and then, there's some people like, get rid of our franchise. And then there are other people like, I'm so tired of hearing all these, about these two. And so
That's
feel
just Twitter. I tweeted the other day. I just tweeted a list of facts the other day. Twins won an impressive game over the Houston Astros. So I just tweeted, they're 19-10. They have the best record in American League. They're half game out of the best record in Major League Baseball. They just took 3 out of 4 from the Astros. I just listed like 4 or 5 facts, and I came back. It's just 18% of the season. It's like people can't even accept, much less not be able to accept other people's opinions. Some people can't accept facts, just basic facts.
Yeah, well, I think part of it said it's Minnesota, so they're just waiting for the shoe to drop, or their best player to get like a drug suspension again, or
okay, now you're depressing me too.
Yeah. Or I don't know, the mumps. There's so much stuff that could happen.
but just but they won a couple of games. Just enjoy it.
It is funny though. It's like if all of a sudden, let's just say they have a great series in New York and Toronto, then you're like, wow, this team could be for real, because they usually suck in both those places, right?
That is very true.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even if they have a terrible road trip, they're still set up for success here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, hey, I'm not doubting it, but I do think it's the Minnesota way. It's like, please,
God, yes.
It's just like, they're just waiting for, for Polanco and Rosario to like somehow collide in the base path or something, and each tear an ACL, or, Barrios to just, whatever,
Of course, the weird thing about being a sports writer in Minnesota is if you
kind of expect the same stuff.
If you say, the thing about being a sports writer in Minnesota is if you say, oh my God, don't take this serious or something like that, then you're the negative jerk of all time. But if you just say, hey, they're 19-10, then we have to shoot that down. We can't actually accept that fact.
Well, just listen to every Russo-Souhan show during the season. Every year, every episode with the Wild usually takes a different tone, because they're either great week and then awful the next week, and it's like just can never really take a stance on the team. So it's probably the same way. I think Twins fans, I mean, it is interesting. Like Dustin Morse tweeted out that it's the first time in 9 years that the Twins can say they have the best record in baseball, but the last time was 152 games into the 2010 season, not 29 games into the 2019 season.
That is very true. And of course, that season had misfortune because Justin Morneau slid into second base and got his bell rung, and never was the same. So, okay, now you're pressing me. Let's talk about some positive stuff.
We know something bad's going to happen, Jim.
No, it's just going to be a fun, nice baseball season.
Yep.
I am insisting on it happening.
Yeah, I saw them planning the parade on Nicollet right when I was driving down here.
Speaking of positivity, how's the Minnesota Wild doing these days? Any new developments?
Who?
Minnesota Wild.
New developments. No, they still didn't make the playoffs, Jim. New developments. I do think that there have been contract extensions or re-signings given to the coaches that needed that done, which would have been Darby Hendrickson and Bob Woods. Different terms, though, which I believe because I get the impression from talking to people around town that know Darby that he only got a 1-year extension, which is just bizarre to me. Where I think Bob and Dean Evison have 2 years left on their deal. Bob Woods, Bob Mason was already re-signed, or was already had term left on his deal. Evison had term left on his deal. Boudreaux, as you know, had term left on his deal 1 year. Right now, no extension for him. I just had him in studio. I was filling in on the fan, and he was in for an hour, which was always fun. What else? Training staff, I believe, have got all new deals. And now it's just a matter of they're going to have pro meetings this upcoming weekend to really start looking at free agency and potential trades and things like that. And, as I've said and written a gazillion times, we could talk about all the salary cap room that they have and all that, but they got 12 guys signed to one-way contracts up front. So I don't care if they're interested in Anders Lee. I don't care if they're interested in Brett Connolly or Jordan Eberle or Matt Zuccarello or whatever. I mean, until they make trades, they can't sign any of these guys. There's no room. So be just interested.
Thanks to Twill and the Dyna Gallery. It is in the Dyna Gallery. I say that for a reason. It's a beautiful little mall, cool shops, a good Starbucks, a bunch of good places in there. And Twill, of course, is my favorite joint in there. Scott Dayton does a great job with his shop. And this weekend, the Stenstrom's trunk sale, which means you go in there, I don't know exactly what the deal is, but they usually give you a good deal. The stuff is beautiful. It'll last forever. It looks great with jeans. It looks great with a suit. Check it out.
Jim usually doesn't like to shop for clothes. I don't like it when he shops for clothes either, because he used to buy stuff I'd want to throw out. That's why I'm so glad he's found Twill in the Dyna Galleria. He likes shopping there because of the comfortable environment and the friendly staff. He finds clothes that actually fit him properly and are high-quality brands that will look great for years, whether he's golfing or working. Our favorites so far are Peter Millar, Johnny O, and Barber. We spend our money at Twill because we love the clothes and we love the no-pressure shopping. Drop by Twill in the Dyna Galleria for the best shopping experience and best clothes you'll find in the Twin Cities.
How's Bruce doing these days?
He's good. His son just graduated from, got his master's at 19 years old from Grand Canyon University down in Arizona.
Wow.
So he and his wife went down there for the...
I think Grand Canyon is where Kevin Warren played college basketball, the Vikings CEO or vice president.
You know what's weird is that I cannot remember, and maybe somebody that listened to my podcast is going to remind me that it's him, but somebody just told me that they're going to Grand Canyon University. I just cannot remember who the heck it was. Just the other day, so I don't remember who it was. So Brady Boudreaux, who I wrote about earlier this season, has Asperger's. He got his master's at age 19.
Wow.
So his parents, basically, or I would say probably his mom wanted him to walk. And remember, because he was doing online classes, so he's really never even been down there other than, probably a visitor or something like that. But everything's online. So he went down there and, and just for the benefit of Bruce and Crystal, walked. So that was pretty cool. Bruce just told a hilarious story on the fan about Casey, his daughter, who's his only daughter. He's got 3 sons. Lives in Ottawa, has a 4-year-old daughter named Everly. And so every time that Everly is around the Wild, she would wear a Coyle jersey and loved Coyle for some reason. And Coyle would always treat her like gold. And then all of a sudden, the Wild trade Coyle to the Boston Bruins. So Bruce sheepishly calls his daughter up and says, "Hey, you might want to just tell Everly that we just traded Coyle. So, you got to deal with that." And so then Everly has no reaction. She goes, "Okay, I'll just become a Nino fan." And then Casey had to kind of like, well, Nino was traded a month ago. And then she's like, "Okay, Eric Fair will be my new favorite player." And then Casey had to be like, "Yeah, well, he's probably gone." So this poor girl. Yeah, this poor girl. So then I said on the radio, which put Bruce in a bad spot, I'm like, hopefully her next jersey is not a Zucker jersey.
You're vicious.
Yes.
You're absolutely vicious.
What else? Bruce, he's got a 140 pound dog named Dixie.
My dog is like 22 pounds, and that's more than enough.
Yeah.
Tonnage.
Wait till you see. So I'm doing this athletic story next week, this like Q&A based off today's show. Lazy way to get a byline out there. But I have pictures of Bruce and Dixie. Oh, they are good. They are good.
You're making me wonder exactly what's going on with Bruce and his dog.
No, it's just a gigantic dog.
Okay.
That's basically on
Clifford,
Bruce's
the
lap.
Big red dog in real life.
No, it's just going to be like, it's worth, if you're not a subscriber to The Athletic, it's worth being a subscriber to The Athletic just to see these pictures.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Let's thank Fixology Repair. Fixology Repair, downtown Minneapolis, in the Skyway, at the mall.